These terror-striking moose encounters will make your heart pound with fear at every sudden sound for the next few weeks. Number 7. This emotional and yet terrifying video starts with a mama moose standing in the road with 2 of her calves. Unsure of what to do, the truck driver just stops and waits for her to make the first move.
Her up and her ears laying back.
After a few minutes, the mama moose and her calves got moving. However, they remain on the road, making it difficult for the truck driver to move past her. The truck driver, not wanting to aggravate her, continues to cautiously move behind her and her calves until the unexpected happens. However, this was just a warning from the ferocious mother deer for what was about to happen. The truck driver once again tries to overtake the overprotective mother moose when she hits his truck yet again and does the unexpected.
God.
The truck driver is eventually able to get away from the moose and her calves despite having her chase him for quite some time. What do you think the truck driver could have done differently here? Number 6. This hair-raising encounter will make you decide never to go into a moose territory again without any form of protection. This terrifying video starts immediately with a high-speed chase with a snowmobile rider running after a moose. The moose runs as fast as it can until it suddenly stops, as if it's tired of being chased. When the frightening moose stops, the snowmobile rider ahead also stops, and then there is a standoff between the two for some seconds. However, nothing will prepare you for what comes next. The daunting moose turns around, stares at the rider, and then runs toward the snowmobile in anger. The rider, who was getting scared for his life, gets off the snowmobile quickly and tries to stay calm. The two size themselves up for some time until this happens. In a split second, the aggravated moose charged at the rider again, this time stomping at the helpless man who can do nothing but run behind his partner's snowmobile. Realizing the moose wasn't going to leave either of them without a pound of flesh, the riders decide to do the only logical thing, to shoot and hope it scares the seething moose off their backs. Even after firing the shot, the hostile moose didn't seem troubled by the shot. Luckily for the riders, it eventually got the message and ran back into the woods, leaving the riders to catch their breath. Number 5. This terrifying clip begins when the owner of this beautiful garden suddenly spots a majestic moose taking a tour in his garden. He decides to approach the moose, but unknown to him, he's just made one of the biggest mistakes of his life. When the tall moose notices him, nothing initially happens. As a matter of fact, it just stands there for some time and stares at the man recording it, perhaps expecting the man to leave. When the man doesn't leave, the moose becomes furious, and that's when things head south. The enraged moose charged at the man at full force, but the man luckily escaped to his back porch in the nick of time, where he stayed to catch his breath. After catching his breath, the man began to laugh as he and the testy moose engaged in a fierce stare-down for some time. The man then makes a brave but scary decision to reverse the moose's actions. He charges after the moose just like it did while making scary noises to terrify the wild animal. Surprisingly, his unconventional plan works and the moose runs back into the woods. Can you do what this man just did at the end? Number 4. At Kincaid Park, Anchorage in 2014, two friends went riding bicycles in the woods hoping to have another normal evening. Never could they have imagined the ordeal they were in for. The clip begins with one of 4 bikers recording their ride down a beaten path on a bright sunny day. Nothing out of the ordinary happens in the first part of the clip until one of the bikers notices something rustling in the wood and heading towards one of the bikers. What happened next will keep you up at night.
Dude's coming in.
A colossal moose standing over 8 foot tall charged at one of the bikers ahead in a flash. Fortunately, one of the bikers at the back was quick enough to sight the frightening moose and warn his friends of the impending danger. This allowed his friend to narrowly miss being hit and stomped by the raving moose. The biker filming assumed the moose would run after him next, so he ran away almost as if to hide behind the other biker. When he turned to face it, the moose had run back into the woods and the whole thing was over just as quickly as it started. A short encounter, but no less scary, as you can hear some heavy breathing by the end. Wonder what was going through their heads after that encounter. Number 3. In the city of Pittsburgh in western Pennsylvania, a moose and snowmobile riders enter into an unexpected clash. What happened next will scare you to your bones. The video begins with these 2 snowmobile riders in Pittsburgh hurtling down a path, enjoying the scenery of the city's wildlife. Little did they know, they were about to witness one of the biggest shocks of their lives. Without any warning, a moose unexpectedly burst out of the woods to the right and started to run after the rider that's ahead. Terrified and obviously afraid, the rider slowed down and completely stopped to let the moose run ahead. After their hearts had stopped racing, the 2 friends decided to chase the moose for a while before it eventually disappeared into the woods. What would you have done if you found yourself in a similar situation? Number 2. A hunter got into a bone-chilling situation while trying to hunt down a fully grown adult moose. The hunter who was watching the moose kept getting closer and closer to the gigantic herbivore until he was finally spotted by the animal. Despite noticing the prying hunter, the moose doesn't do anything at first and even tries to warn the hunter by shaking its head, hitting the ground, and looking right at the hunter. Still, the hunter paid no heed to its warning. After the hunter refusing to leave, the monstrous moose began to feel threatened by the hunter. With its terrifying antlers as its main point of attack, the frightening moose locked eyes with the hunter and attacked in a flash. While making noises to scare the moose off, the hunter ran behind a tree to protect himself from the gruesome moose who was only 3 feet away. Luckily, the moose wasn't really interested in hurting the man and was happy to walk away satisfied. Just imagine what would have happened if it had decided to charge at the man. Number 1. In this scary encounter, a relaxing family were celebrating Memorial Day near a river when they suddenly face to face with a wild moose. The video begins with the family sighting a hungry moose coming towards them from the river.
Oh my God. They just walked right up.
Look, he's trying to go get our veggies.
The moose initially appears a little calm as it walked around, looking to see if the family had anything it could feed on.
No, don't let him eat the peppers.
Get out.
Noticing the wild moose was getting dangerously too close to his family, the man of the house stepped up to shoo the moose away.
Oh, if Rosie was there.
However, the hungry moose didn't get too far before returning back to the scene for round 2.
Got spooked. Good.
Realizing the situation at hand, the family dog quickly went into full protective mode and started barking at the moose. But this only made the hungry moose more irritated. And that's when this happened. Both moose and dog went running until they stopped in front of a shed where a person scared the moose back, but it doesn't end there. The testy moose went back to strolling around the clearing until someone lit up a firework to scare it off. However, the moose didn't even seem moved until a second firework was lit. Sufficiently scared, the moose ran right out of view. Thankfully, neither the moose nor the crying baby were hurt. How fatal do you think a moose attack is? What do you think about these encounters? Have you ever met a moose in the wild? Let us know in the comment. See you in the next heart-stopping adventure.